Orange and blue skies, Knicks fans. Look, it's Halloween. It ain't gonna be no video on Halloween, so this is a Halloween episode, and I'm dressed up as none other than Spike Lee. It's my lazy look. I don't dress up for Halloween, so you're gonna take this lazy costume, and I don't want to have to hear anything about it. The Knicks survive a very close game last night. Now I'm gonna be real with you. Shout out to JD. If you watch this, my boy JD, you talked me off the ledge. Now normally I'm the optimistic one. Y'all come at me because I'm too optimistic sometimes, but last night had me hot. But JD brings up a good point. We're 4-1. That's all that matters. We 4-1. When you look at the standings, you see this. Now, look, I'm not going to jump off a cliff because we're first right now. But if you see the other records, there's a lot of 4-1s and 3-1. So I'm going to enjoy it for right now. But I ain't going to sit here and be like, yo, man, we the first place team in the Eastern Conference. Even though that is the case as of this video right now. A lot of things to talk about. But for the most part, the majority of this game, we played great defensively, offensively, ball movement. Everybody had a role and everybody did what they needed to do. But we'll get into all of that later. But enjoy that we are 4-1, baby. Run the intro. What's going on, CK Crew? It's your boy CK2K, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Do not forget to like this video, join the Discord, and follow me on all of the social medias and stuff in the description below. Twitch, Coast to Coast, my other channels, you know the vibes. There's CK everywhere you look. You know what it is, man. You know what it is. Orange blue skies, baby. Look, I know, like I said, I dressed up for Halloween. It's the Halloween episode. I'm not gonna post on Sunday, so I wanted to do a little shum. So here we are. I'm Spike Lee. Now I gotta get this out of the way. All right, call me petty if you want, but I saw everyone on social media that there were, Bulls fans were coming out everywhere saying everything they wanted to say, talking about old highlights with Michael Jordan, this, that, and the third. Some highlights from Derrick Rose when he was playing with the Bulls and beating us, and blobbity, 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 for it to come out the way that I was ultimately expecting, with our Knicks coming out on top. Now, mind you, the Bulls played a good game. For them to come back in those final 2 minutes to bring it within one. Now, mind you, we did a lot of giving it away, but at the same time, for them to capitalize on it, Vucevic, who was not hitting the three ball that well throughout the entire game, to then hit that key clutch shot at the end of the game. You got to tip your hat to them for fighting back. But nonetheless, to have this game come down to a defensive play by RJ Barrett, I wouldn't have written it any other way. Now let's talk about RJ Barrett first. Now we know he's had a rough start to the season, as he's done, well, his entire career in the NBA so far. But this game was his coming out party. And I know he only had 20 points, and his stats don't really bounce out to you when you look at the box score, outside of the fact that he was the second leading scorer. But the thing is, his all-around game, the way that he was able to put together the defense along with being able to put together a nice scoring out, was exactly what I was looking forward to this entire season. I know the season just started, and I know that there's going to be lots of other games for him to prove himself and do this at a higher clip. But for him to play at such a high level offensively, taking great shots, getting to the rim, had a beautiful sweep over was it Tony Brown or Ayo Dosunmu? I don't remember who it was at the end of the game, but he had a beautiful sweep with his left hand hook shot towards the end of the game that was just remarkable, showing different ways of scoring, and on top of that, still having the energy to go out there and guard two very highly competitive players in DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. That is the player that I ultimately believe RJ Barrett's going to be. Now, yes, we want to see the scoring come up more consistently, that is for sure, but for him to put it together like he did in this game against a team who was originally #1 and undefeated, never lost, for RJ Barrett to do that in that game is huge. I can't say enough about it. RJ Barrett definitely helped us out on the offense, but another person who carried us in that offense was none other than Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker in back-to-back games seems to be getting more comfortable and more acclimated with the system. We saw Kemba Walker, obviously, like I said, shaking off the rust. I told you guys that in the last video. I'm not worried. I was not worried about Kemba Walker. Still not worried about Kemba Walker because he has rust to shake off. He's coming back from that injury from last season, and he's playing for a new team. A lot of things that he has to get, prepared for and get ready for coming into this new team, coming to his home team, coming back and playing for his home, playing for the Knicks. This is a big deal for him, so it's a lot they had to put together, and I feel like in the last 2 games, he's been putting together a great stat line. 40 points in back-to-back games. The man made 10 3-pointers in those 2 games total. Last night, 5 for 6 from the three-point line. If you look at his stats, you think that that's the free throws, and you realize, no, that was his 3-point percentage. 7 of 12 from the field, 5 for 6 from the 3, 2 for 3 from the free throw line. It was a very good output from Kemba Walker. But for Kemba Walker to go out there and hold his own defensively against Caruso, Lonzo Ball, like guys like those who are bigger guards, that's huge. 2 steals. Like, he was just doing all the right things. It was really, really, really nice to see out there. And Kemba Walker, like, I gotta say, he's really getting acclimated to the team really well. Mitchell Robinson played a big part in this game because one thing that they're missing is interior defense, and Mitchell Robinson was making it harder for them to get to the paint along with the defense that we were providing throughout the entire game. We had a little bit of a dust up, a little bit of a moment when his shoe blew up, PG. Looking at you, because Mitch Robinson out there rocking your shoes, Nike, looking at you even further. Maybe, here's the thing, maybe big men need to stop wearing guard shoes. When Zion Williamson busted through his shoes, wearing Kyrie's. Mitch Robinson busted through his shoes, he's wearing Paul George's. There needs to be a center shoe. A center needs to get their own shoe. That's a point for another video. Julius Randle. Now, I know we are giving Julius Randle a hard time because of how the game ended. And though, granted, I understand that it is warranted to talk about, especially in the last 2 minutes when you have 2 free throws that you need to make. You're throwing the ball around the court in the final, not even 2 minutes, like the final, like 3 minutes of the game. You know, he's taking some bad shots, rushing the play, too much point Randle, like those kind of things we could talk about. But I don't want to take away from the overall total game that he gave from us. I think that's the next step for Julius Randle, is to play games like this, obviously with more scoring and doing what he's been doing to start off the season, to be able to do what you did when teams throw double teams at you and throw matchups on you and try to change things up, like putting Lonzo Ball on you in the 4th quarter and stuff like that. And mind you, you know, we know Lonzo Ball is a great defender. Lonzo Ball was tipping the ball away from you left and right, doing a good job, stopping you from doing a lot of things, forcing you into bad shots. But for the most part, though, in this game, Julius Randle was doing a great job for us, handling himself well in those double teams. He looked poised. He looked like he looked poised. He looked under control. He was making great passes, making, you know, going with the first decision rather than waiting on his second and third decision, because that's what I feel like Julius Randle does a little too much. He'll see an open man, miss him, and then decide to go with some other option that sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't work. So he was going with his first instinct the majority of the night. It looked good. I have nothing else to say. It's just frustrating because of how the game ended with Julius Randle with those 4 turnovers. I feel like he got all of them in the 4th quarter. I think he had probably 1 turnover throughout the first 3 quarters and got those 3 turnovers towards the end. Things that need to be adjusted there, but for the most part, I think Julius Randle had a good game for the majority of the game leading up to that last point. Now, I know the argument is going to be, but he needs to finish, especially if we're going to talk about playoffs and we play other big teams. We need Julius Randle to be there for those moments, and I cannot disagree with you guys, and I cannot agree with you guys more. But we came out in the win. A lot of it had to do with him throughout the entire game. I got to give him credit on that, but he needs to be able to put together a full 4 quarters of basketball. It's just that. The bench was great. Taj and Derrick Rose, you can see that they were extra juiced up for this game, going back to Chicago on a Joakim Noah night. They're doing great. And to bringing up them, this is what I want to talk about. And while bringing them up for the last point of this video, I want to talk about the conversation about closing the game with Derrick Rose. I said on a few Knicks fan TV shows, and ultimately in the prediction show, the lineup prediction show specifically, in situations, I would love to see a lineup of Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose to close games, because I knew there was going to be games where it's going to be tough for Thibodeau to take out Kemba Walker or Derrick Rose, because one or the other might be hot. And in last night's instance where, you know, Derrick Rose needs to be at the end of all of these games, because that's just what Derrick Rose has been doing for this team. Has been closing. He has been the guy to go to close these games. Julius Randle, in my opinion, is just not there yet. So Derrick Rose has been one of the best guys to close games. And Kemba Walker is a guy that is typically known to close games. Maybe he's not there right now with the Knicks uniform yet, but in an instant like last night where there was a time where the Bulls had 3 point guards out there, hell, 4 guards out there with Caruso, Ball, Ayo, and then I guess you can throw Javonte Green was the other small guard that was out there. They had 4 guards out there. I think we could have gone with a lineup of Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose, because even if they did bring back out their original lineup, they didn't have Patrick Williams. They had Lonzo Ball playing the 4. They were going to be playing a smaller lineup. I think they could have gotten away with a Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose situation last night. Am I saying that they need to do that more regularly? No. I don't think it's going to work when you play other teams like the Sixers, who we just played, or the Milwaukee Bucks, who have bigger lineups. It's just not going to work to close out games. It's just not, especially defensively. But in a game last night, I really think we could have got away with it. And you saw that it was needed. We didn't have a guy that could close and keep things under control in that fourth quarter because we were losing the ball all over the place. Kemba Walker was deferring to Julius Randle, where Julius Randle was not able to do much of anything with it. In moments like that, you got to have Derrick Rose out there to close this game. I feel like this is happening way too often in our wins this season. In 3 of our 4 wins, that's how it went. Hell, if you ask me, in all of our wins, I feel like we collapsed a little bit in that fourth quarter. We survived the Magic one a little bit better, but we collapsed a little bit in all these fourth quarters because we just weren't closing the game properly. And I think a lot of that has to do with Derrick Rose being on the court. So personally, in last night's matchup, this would have been the time where I would have run a Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker lineup. You know, Evan Fournier has been good for us this entire season. He had 10 points. It did take him 14 shots, but he was still making shots when they mattered. But last night, I think it would have closed out the lineup with Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, and Julius Randle just to close the thing out, because matchup-wise, it would have worked. But that's my opinion on it. What do you guys think? I know a lot of you guys wanted to see Derrick Rose close, but what do you guys think about a Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker combination to end that game? Would it have worked? Would not have worked, but it would have put us in a bad situation? Let me know all your thoughts about just the entire game in the comments below. We're 4-1, people. 4-1. Yes, I know last night's ending was frustrating. A win is a win is a win is a win. We won last night. We're 4-1, 2-0 away. Take the positives away. Like I said, back to my optimistic self. Y'all know me. I'm sorry if I got a little Debbie Downer-ish on you guys, but back to being the positive self. We are 4-1, ladies and gentlemen, and we have a nice schedule coming up. We got the Pelicans coming, and then we got the Raptors coming. 2 winnable games if we keep playing the way that we've been playing. It's gonna be a fun start for us this season. We're showing that we are here to play every single night. Now let's play a complete 4 quarters. But if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Do not forget to like this video. Don't forget to join the Discord so you can find out updates on everything that's going on before anybody else. Follow me over on Twitch. We got a live stream tonight. It's a whole other vibe over on Twitch, and also, you know the vibes, coast to coast every Sunday. Link is in the description below. But let me know your thoughts about everything in the comments below. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it. Let's go, Knicks. Let's go. 4-1, baby. I'm out. See you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Peace.
Cold pizza like Tuesday. I got food up in the fridge. Y'all keep looking for that new wave. I think I like it how it is.